about your economic plan and all of that, but on the issue of corruption again, just one last conversation and then we move to the economy. The United States Senate Committee mentioned your wife by name in a case involving a German company, Siemens, which actually was fined and faced charges of corruption. What are your views regarding that specific case in which your wife was fingered?
My view about it is that my wife has not been indicted, my wife has not been charged. So because she has not been indicted, she has not been charged, I don't accept that view.
Do you feel the need to clear this, that there's like a moral burden on you to actually clear her name? Because the report was quite specific. I'm sure you know the report.
Yeah, I know. I am aware of the report.
Yes. It was quite specific about what it is claimed she did. And there was no doubt that the huge sums of money were found in her account. And a company was fined for paying her at least $2 million.
The company was fined for a number of offenses it committed, not necessarily on the issue of my wife's account. What I can tell you is that my wife has never been indicted and she has never been charged. So there is no way you can hold my wife accountable. Okay. If my wife is an American Mercury, she is an American, there is no way they will not have charged her to court or indicted her.
Has she been to America since that report came out?
She has been traveling to America.
Okay.
She's been traveling to America. She goes and comes very, very regularly.
Okay. So you wanted to say something? So you...
Yeah, just to add on this issue of corruption, because you've been going on in it, which is critical. But the question to ask, is it better to have an amnesty where somebody will say, we're not going to look at yesterday, bring back the money and invest it, and help to regenerate the economy and create jobs, or that you join another party and it becomes a safe haven and you can keep it? A follow-up.
Okay. This is...
Not just a follow-up. Not just a follow-up. We have had issue of fighting corruption and the noise associated with it. Where you took over an economy that was $520 billion with a per capita for every Nigerian of 2,500. And you abandoned about growing the economy and was busy chasing what seemingly does not exist in your people. And then you ended up not recovering even $5 billion, okay, and the economy have lost 120-something billion.
There are two issues.
We're now where every Nigerian per capita is below 2,000.
Okay, so let's deal.
So we have all lost $500.
So let's deal
while you're busy, not adding anything.
Okay, so let's deal with the two issues. The issue of the economy, which other critics will argue is actually a direct result of 16 years of a PDP government, and we'll come back to that. But starting with the issue that you made about, when you said that, is it better to do an amnesty? Or part of the problem that many Nigerians have is that actually they don't see any daylight between the PDP and the APC. As far as they are concerned, you are the same.
Let me tell you,
there is. Moving. No, let me finish. The Nigerian politician seems to have no issues moving from one party to the other, depending on which party is going to allow him to contest. And the two of you sitting here are no exception.
There actually is.
Who is an exception, if I may ask you? Is it President Buhari who had 4 parties? Who is an exception? Anyway, I like what you said.
It is exactly the point I'm making.
Yes,
it's exactly.
Yes,
because sometimes. Let me finish. On this program alone, we've had 2 other parties that offer alternatives to both the APC and to the PDP. And the people who are followers of this party point to this particular issue as one of the reasons why people should vote neither for the PDP nor for the APC. They see you as the same.
Let me tell you the difference. The difference is that those who are in PDP today are actually cleaner, because they're those who are not running away from persecution. The people remaining. Those who have bad records have moved on to APC because they can't stand what is happening. So they've actually moved. And to further take...
Let's have a serious, this is a serious platform. Let's have a serious conversation.
Yeah, I want to be serious about it.
Let's have a serious conversation. Excuse me. Please have respect for Nigerians who are watching this. Thank you.
Let me be serious about it.
Okay, let's be serious about this conversation that we're having. You, apart from PDP, you were a member of another party, ABGA. And in fact, part of the criticism against you from a few people that I spoke to in Anambra, including newspaper articles that I researched, is that you had an opportunity to build ABGA, to be a 3rd national party, and you abandoned it. And the reason you abandoned it, presumably, or I was told, is because you felt it did not allow you to play politics at the center. So I'm trying to understand this issue of Nigerian politicians who...
No, what is wrong in that? If I have to go to London, Canary, and I have a vehicle, and I can drive my car from Lagos, from Onitsha to Lagos, and I found that I can't drive the same car to London and join a plane, what is wrong in it?
We can agree it is about what works for Mr. Peter.
No. It's not what works for Peter Obi.
No, it is for what works for Peter Obi.
It is Mr. Obi having an opportunity to help in building a better society. If I'm going to do it better here, I'll join here. Like I said today, PDP, actually, if you check, all you've said about Atiku is alleged. Even when he went to America, they shouted that before he turns back, you face question. He has since come back, no question. But I can tell you, if you go on the other side, and you can see it everywhere. So, issue of fighting hurt us more. The record have gone from 136 to 148. You said it's been improved. They've come down to 144. But we're still worse than we are today. Let's talk about corruption, even what is happening today, where we don't even have a rate of exchange in this country.
Okay.
And you're talking about corruption.
So let's start talking about the economy. Let me bring in Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, because you've been big on your manifesto has been largely driven by...
Before I go to the economy, let me maybe put a closing idea to this corruption issue. You know, one other serious corruption that is facing us is elections rigging. It's also a form of corruption. You know the idea I have? Why can't we not have an election fraud commission? So that we bring to book any individual, whether he's a member of any political party, or a member of INEC, or even a member of the security services, who infringes any electoral act.
But I think the courts are already, we've just had INEC workers that took bribe during the last election process.
This is like approaching the corruption issue because it is becoming a very serious issue. So if it requires us having a special investigation bureau, election fraud commission, why not?
Okay. So part of the difficulty that faces Nigerians when they hear ideas like this about setting up this and setting up that is that it's not that these ideas are necessarily new, it's that we never seem to have the political will to actually see these things through. So people come
You know where the political will
ideas.
is? You know where the political is? Here.
Why?
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 Because we have been successful, both in government, in public, and in private. This country, let me tell you, Kadri, this country requires a leadership that is pro-business, pro-private sector, so that we can get out of this mess we have found ourselves. 21 million young men and women unemployed. We have never had it this bad in this country.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's be quite specific about that. What are you going to do about that? You keep talking about making Nigeria better in specific terms, because talking about the economy in